Hello, everybody. I wanted to share a dream that I had with you really quick. The Lord wants me to share it. I had a dream about Jesus. I had a dream about the devil as well. Um, Sorry, there's no video content. I just woke up and I just don't want nobody to see my morning face. Anyway, so I was at like this concert that was getting ready to start. And it was like just like an open like concert. It was out in like this grassy area. There was no seats. Like you had to stand or you had to like, bring like a blanket and just like sit down on the grass. So I was trying to find where I wanted to go stand at. And people were still coming in. It was like the field was only like halfway full. And so I just kind of went to the middle area of the field and stood in the middle next to this guy, stand next to him. And then like it filled up really quick all around me. Like people were coming in really fast. And then before the music started, one of my coworkers from work gets up out of the crowd and like marries this girl up on stage. And then once that was over, the concert started, and immediately when the music started, the devil came out on stage, and he was all like, "You guys are all going to hell," and like there was like flames that just started coming up around the whole, like around the perimeter of the field and behind the stand, so like nobody could leave because there was a huge fire around it. And everybody was like screaming and panicking, and they really couldn't move. Like, and if anybody could move, they couldn't leave because of the firewall. And anyway, so then the devil comes off the stage and he's just like grabbing people, and he's like, "You're going to hell, and you're going to hell, and you're going to hell." And he just starts grabbing people, and I just start storming off the field. I like start like fast walking, like charging at the devil. And I get up to him, and he looks at me with fear in his eyes. I saw what he looked like. It was just a regular looking guy. He was kind of short for a guy. He was shorter than me, and I'm 5'8". So I would say he was like 5'6", 5'7", something like that. He was a little shorter than me. He had black hair, black like goatee looking kind of thing, a mustache with just like a little bit of beard on his chin, just a little bit. And he was oh, let me go back. There was this alien that was in the crowd. It was before the wedding part. There was this alien in the crowd. He was green. He looked like a gray alien. He had the big eyes, a regular alien look. He was really, really, really short, probably only like 4 or 5 feet tall. And he was green, and like he come up to me, and I was like, I told you. I can't even remember what I told him, but I threatened him. And every time I threatened him, he would get smaller. And I'd threaten him again, and he'd get smaller. I'd threaten him again, and he got smaller. And then he just like ran away from me. And then the devil came out, and then the fire came up. And then he was telling everybody, he was grabbing people and telling them they were going to hell. And people were like freaking out. And some people were just like couldn't move. And then other people that were trying to move couldn't leave because there was a fiery wall around us. And then I charged at the devil, and when I saw him, he was shorter than me. He had black hair, black goatee looking thing. I couldn't really tell the color of his skin because like the fire was like glowing and stuff, kind of like a glow on him. um and he looked at me with fear in his eyes, and he was like, "Oh, you're here." And then he like he was just scared. He was all like, and I knew immediately. I was like, I'm not going to hell. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't send me to hell. And he was like, and he was so scared. And anyway, he grabbed me by my hand, and he like quickly escorted me out of this door that appeared out of nowhere through these flames. And I walked through the door, and I knew immediately I was in heaven. And I run up these stairs, and Jesus is there, and I hug him. And I saw what Jesus looked like too. When I hugged him, it was like it was like joy, just peace and love. And he was like happy to see me, but he was also very, very busy. Like he was very busy. He was doing like some kind of like meeting in heaven. Like he was getting ready to, like, if I had to guess, he's having a meeting about Armageddon and his second coming and stuff. Anyway, he was having like a meeting, and it was like I hugged him, and then I looked at him, and it was like we just had this moment together. And in this moment we had together, he was perfect. He was the most perfect, handsomest looking man I've ever seen in my entire life. He, really dark skin. He wasn't a black man, though. He was really dark. Wasn't anything like anything that I've ever seen. Like, he looks so much better looking than the guy off Chosen. So much better than Jim Caviezel. So much better than Mel Gibson. So much better looking. So much better than any picture I've ever seen or AI generated Jesus I've ever seen. I mean, he was perfect. His face was just perfect. He had like really tan skin, but it wasn't like, I don't know how to describe the color of his skin. He wasn't like Indian. It was almost like he was some ancient race. He was just perfect. He was perfect. But he had really tan skin. And he had brown hair, brown beard, brown eyes. He had like a beauty mark just right above his beard on his left side of his cheek. He was so perfect looking. He was so perfect. And he had a white robe on. And anyway, that's the dream that I had. I do want to add in that there was a guy, I can't remember what his name was, but he was up on stage, and he was all like, you guys are dumb for listening to my music because you guys are all going to hell with me for listening to it. And he's not lying. Like, that guy's not lying. We really need to make sure that we're not listening to worldly music, especially like just really bad worldly music. That we know. I mean, it's pretty obvious. We know some of these people that are evil. Like, you know which ones are evil. I don't have to list any of them. You guys know which ones are evil. But he wasn't lying when he was up on stage saying that you guys are all going to hell. I mean, he was saying you guys are all going with me, and he's serious, and the devil's serious too. And I'm telling you, I felt like I was the only one in that crowd that made it, and there was thousands of people in that crowd. I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, I'm just saying I felt like I'm just guessing, probably 5,000 people made, 1 out of 5,000 made it, and I was like, I wasn't even scared, but everybody else was scared. I wasn't scared. I just charged at the devil. But I'm telling you guys, you really need to really be close to the Lord, really read your Bible, quit listening to worldly music, quit watching, horror movies and really bad stuff, because times are getting short, and Jesus is having a conference in heaven right now. And Anyway, that's the dream that I had. I hope it edifies you. I hope it blesses you. God bless you all.